But this is the full acronym. So it stands for lesbian and gay, which most people know those two. And then bisexual and transgender, those are often also recognized. Then we have 2 Qs for questioning and queer, 2 Is for intersex and intersectional. So we're going to go over the difference between bisexual and pansexual, which is the P here. We are definitely going to talk in depth about trans folks and what it means to be trans, the many different identities under that term. Queer, whether it's an okay word to say, its uses, its implications, what intersex is. They often get left out of the conversation entirely. Let's talk a minute real quick about intersectionality. So intersectionality is, it's a term coined by Professor Kimberly Crenshaw, a Black feminist, who talks about identities as though they're like streets that we live on, right? So I mentioned earlier, I'm white and I'm queer. So I have a certain lived experience walking down the street of being a white person. I have a certain experience of walking down the street being a queer person, and how those intersect makes that specific intersection unique. So I might share some experiences with other white people and some experiences with other queer people, but the intersection is unique. And we can do this for all parts of identity, right? So being a woman, being cisgender, meaning that I identify with the gender assigned to me at birth, being well-educated, being of an average body size versus the larger body size, being neurotypical or not, the level of socioeconomic status you have, whether or not you're an immigrant, whether or not you speak English. All of these things impact the level of privilege that we experience in our world. And that intersection is super important when we're looking at the entirety of this acronym. So that goes to say that a gay man who is cisgender, white, wealthy, average bodied, traditionally good looking based on European standards, does not have the same experience with oppression as a poor Black trans woman, not in the slightest. And the statistics really reflect that. So this is part of a way to investigate and to compare how we really cannot conflate 2 people, even if they share this acronym, 2 people's experience as the same under this community. So intersectionality is a really important lens through which to view this. Pansexuality, which I said we will definitely investigate. 2S stands for two-spirit, which is commonly used in indigenous communities. It has a reflection of feeling that your spirit is of 2, kind of those 2 different genders. And then the A's are for androgynous, meaning that you don't fit society's mold of specifically one gender or the other. Traditionally, how you express yourself, your gender expression is not clearly based on what our social cues, hair, clothing, makeup or not, that kind of thing, tell you how we code gender. And then A for asexual, similar to intersex people, oftentimes completely left out of the conversation. So it's a long acronym.